sounds ignorant because it is. It's well, I don't know, it's incorrect. It's incorrect. And and so my brother did learn Italian, and he would talk to my grandmother, and she would say, "I don't understand you because you're speaking proper Italian." She spoke dialect, and so it really wasn't until everyone had a TV set in Italy that the standard Italian really spread through the country. So yeah, so I would say most of my family don't speak Italian, though we want to.
And so you said you're a part of the Italian Cultural
Well,
Society?
I go to they're open, free. They do a lot of they show a lot of movies and they have a lot of programs. Anyone can go. And in the last few years, I've been going more and more. And so now I don't know how it happened, but um, the Consul General's wife started a group for Italian and Italian American women. And so I'm on the committee of one. We had our first event on March 8th, and it was International Women's Day. And now that group is going to have different activities, and they have a book club, and we had our first book club. The book was um, written by a woman who was an immigrant, but like a more current immigrant. She's a college professor, and I'm not sure if she wrote it because she teaches here now, and she in English. So I'm not sure if she wrote the book in English. I don't remember that if it was translated into English, but anyway. Um, and what's interesting with this group is that it's meant as to help because there's a lot of Italians who are immigrating now, and it's a big brain drain going on in Italy. There aren't jobs, so these people are professors and neuroscientists and all kinds of things, and so it's kind of sort of like a social support kind of thing for them. And we're learning more about the true Italian culture because, again, the Italians who came here, if they came from a small town, they brought their customs with them, but that doesn't mean that Italy does it that way. It's just that town. And just the fact that Zeppoli, there's all really different forms of Zeppoli because it depends on the region of Italy. And so one thing that I learned from March 8th, I mean, I knew it was International Women's Day, but it's not a big deal in the States. But it's a big deal in Italy that um, it's almost like kind of like a second Mother's Day, but the mimosa flower, which has nothing to do with mimosa the drink. And again, I didn't know this because it doesn't really grow here that well, but it's a yellow flower that it's on a heavy stem. It's sort of like trees or
Oh, okay,
bushes or
yeah.
something, okay? And so it blooms in March, and so it's really prevalent March 8th, and brothers will give it to their sisters, bosses will give, or colleagues at work will give it to the female colleagues, and not just like you give it to your mother. It's like every woman can get some mimosa, and we found some. So we had
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah, we had it at the event, um, and so that was something. And then they printed up an explanation. This is a mimosa flower. This is when it blooms. This is why it's important on March 8th. And so then we could learn, the Italian Americans at that event learned. And the Italians there were just so happy to see the mimosa. So, so I'm doing more and more of that, and there's a lot of Italian films in Chicago. Not just in October. That's what I thought about, in October with the film festival, but uh, the European Film Festival is every February, March, and the Cisco just ended. We went into April. They had 6 films throughout the series. Columbia College, I think, is doing May should have that they should have had was a more realistic ending. But Americans weren't happy. So I enjoy Italian films. You hear the language and you see the translation. So you try to um, you can some because it's not a true translation. But just anything to help learn the language. I mean, help soak up the culture.
And that's why you wanted to get involved in it. And
Yeah.
all this is to learn more about the culture.
Right, absolutely, absolutely, and read more about it. And my Facebook page is loaded with posts from all kinds of Italian groups or Italian American groups. I learn stuff multiple times a day. There's a real active institute in New York that's always posting stuff, and just there's so much to about the Italian culture. It's unbelievable. Just to really get into it, because again, immigrants and children of immigrants, you only know really what the immigrants taught, and they only knew from their town because they weren't well read and well educated. They were poor women, so some of them knew about ancient Roman history and such, but not necessarily. And so, if you only limit yourself to that, it's really a very small piece of the Italian. I mean, you could study Italian culture your whole life. It's just amazing. What's out. I mean, I guess you could say that about any country, but I'm just saying, I mean, you really want to go back to Etruscans, and then, then there's the political history and the cultural history and the food is different. In fact, there's a professor, and he's from Italy, but he was at University of Chicago. I don't know if he still is, but he had a class about Renaissance food and what spices they use. There's a lot of nutmeg. It's like, oh, you know, here's spaghetti sauce, but it's just fascinating to me, because there's so much that you aren't exposed to, even though you know Italian, you aren't exposed to the whole, so much history, We don't do